Welcome back to Missin the Homies. This is the show where I bullshit with my homies. This month, we welcome a new homie to the fold, to the Polaroid wall, to the home, to the kitchen table. Ted, welcome to the pod.
I'm so happy to be part of the pod.
So we're gonna kick it off how we normally do. This shout out to Terry last month for talking music. Talking music and comics. We talked a lot about Third Coast Comics. You've been to Third Coast.
Yeah, I have. It's a cool spot.
The day you showed up, I went in after. He's like, your buddy was in here asking for you. I was like, who? And I think it was like, oh no, you early crack. Okay, Eddie, here we go. Cheers.
Jumped. Prost.
Cheers.
No, Third Coast Comics is cool. It's cool. I skate by there all the time, and yeah,
and you're so close.
It's a tiny shop. It's so cool that it can operate in such a small area. And like, I have friends from over the city that like stop by, and my friends say that I forget that you live so close to that joint. So
yeah, it's super cool. Terry's got a sweet selection. Actually, Terry is who put me on to what we're going to be talking about this month, which is Magic the Gathering. A recent obsession of mine, recent deep dive.
I feel like it is a peril of many people that fall into any level of hyper obsession.
Yeah, and, cardboard crack.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony. He'll be cracking a liquid death along with me. But so my buddy Tony, he was like needling me to try Magic before I even went to Dice Dojo. So, because I didn't know that they hosted Magic Nights at Dice Dojo until super recent. Like, the time that we played together was probably my second time going, and that was this year.
And Magic Nights are huge there. I mean, they fill the place out this week. This previous week, they had to turn people away.
Really?
Because the place was full up. And I mean, it says a lot about a card game that you can fill up a space so much so that...
And it's a big space.
Yeah. They put people in the basement when it overflows.
I've never been in the basement.
Yeah, it's they have 40K tables set up.
Oh, that's one that
I've avoided that as well.
I have like really sidestepped 40K, and I think every time I go into Dice Dojo, I get a little bit more interested in 40K, but I'm like, I can't do it because I'm already
one hobby at a time.
Yeah, one hobby at a time.
There is something cool about being like, I see people post online about like different ways of painting things.
Yeah.
And it's cool that hobby is so hands-on.
Yeah.
Like the painting can be so intricate and so personal.
Yeah.
But again,
I don't have that level of detail.
That's a hobby that asks a lot of you. There's just in terms of like monetary costs. I think like an army, you build like an army with the little miniatures.
Yeah.
And they get up there like thousands of dollars for your squad. And
there's like, it's an extensive game just from what I've seen at Dice Dojo.
I go down to the basement. I've gone down into the basement. People are down there with their tape measures, like the characters shoot at each other from cover and stuff.
Really,
and they break out like tape measures for the distance. But from what I've seen,
it has to be fun. Yeah. Like it has to be really fun if these people if it is that extensive of a game. That's like what because I didn't understand Magic at all.
Yeah.
Now being in it, I'm like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
With any of these, there are digital equivalents that are like and other analog equivalents. But I've played XCOM before.
Yeah.
And you tell your unit to take cover, and then you shoot another unit. And that's, I guess, I when I think 40K, I think it's just like.
Is that kind of what it is?
I think that's
it's tabletop XCOM.
very much what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
think
I mean, I have had no. I had no idea what Warhammer 40K is at all. I'm just interested on it strictly from like what I've seen at Dice Dojo,
Right.
which is like. I mean, I feel like I'm even just recently into board games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's a whole other thing. We're here to
really
talk
is,
magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking beforehand about talking magic lore. And
Which is kind of funny because I don't know. I'm not the like subject matter expert on this at all.
and I know none of it. And I sat and I was in preparation to sit down and do this. I was like, I'm going to watch one magic lore video. It was 2 hours long. And within 16 seconds, I had to pause it. And I had to put my phone down.
Put that on 2x and retain as much as you can.
It was, I like, it was so instantly complicated.
Right.
Which
I think because it's been around for
Since
30
93.
years. Yeah. Almost 30 years now. I think there's been just lots of time travel, lots of visiting different planets, and I'm
for
sure
anybody that is following along that still like can comprehend, it's very much just like a multiverse story.
Yeah,
like all of these
100%.
different planes, like high fantasy.
Yeah.
And then that's where like all of the different universes. They made it just broad enough to where they can include everything.
Well, now it's Fortnite. Now it's just every single property in there, and that has totally skewed my understanding of magic and magic lore.
Hold for the siren.
Yeah, we got hold for the train.
Hold for the amount of times I've said hold for plane. Wow. I mean, I feel like I needed to actually hold for that because we did such a good job lighting. I think my mission with the pod at this point, because normally I do this through Zoom with my friends back home or friends living around the world. And so normally I just do it on Zoom in the one room.
Yeah.
But with my friends that I've been doing local, I've been trying to shoot in different places of the house, and I think this might be the best. You
definitely have room here to put a bunch of lights up and make it look nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
So you were saying magic
My
is the
perspective-
Fortnite of tabletop
My
trading.
perspective of magic is only my lived experience. What I only played on Arena, the digital version, in 2017. Made like a single deck. It was fun for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then I didn't come back. And when I did come back in 2022, there were so many other properties in there. There was Street Fighter. There was Jurassic Park.
So what was the most recent Universe Beyond when you came back in 2022? Like that had just come out.
I know the Transformers had just happened.
Sick.
Splicer. And it was my friends. Yeah, it was my
Slicer.
friends that I had who were introducing me to the Commander format. That they were like going on about how there was Street Fighter in here and there's Godzilla, and this is coming from a dude who's like the dude who was talking about this was like a Godzilla aficionado. So he was
He was critiquing the films?
He didn't. It didn't feel like he was saying it out of a place of spite.
Yeah, he was excited about it.
He was stoked about it. Yeah,
which is how I felt about the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
which I think it says something to the Fortnites and the Magics,
Yeah.
that if you can do a tie-in well, like that it just brings so many more. It can be done well.
Yeah.
And like that's what got me in. Like I saw the Assassin's Creed cards and was like, whatever those are, I'm gonna get those and I'm gonna proxy that. I'm gonna make a deck around them, and it has like brought me into this game in a different way.
This dude built a deck all about assassinating people. I'm pretty sure I've been the subject of assassination.
I think you're the only person who I've gotten with
I've
it.
seen you try to get this deck to work where you assassinate somebody as the pentultimate ability, only for me to be on the receiving end. And only me thus far.
Which is like, it's so much fun. And I think especially like I'm coming from Yu-Gi-Oh. So I like was originally I like grew up loving Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But
I judged the Yu-Gi-Oh kids hard.
Yeah.
I was a Pokemon kid.
Yeah.
I
didn't like the Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Like the
nobody
actual
knew how
card
to play
game.
it. Nobody knew how to play it.
Yeah.
I sat there and judged on the school bus all the kids sitting there with their Blue Eyes White Dragon. Little did I know that it would be just as cool as every other card game.
It was badass.
I should not have been so judgmental.
But
about that.
now, from what I understand, like, because coming into, again, shout out Third Coast Comics, when I was hanging out with Terry and his friends, I was like, they were playing Magic, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, I'd never played Magic, and I told them, I was like, yeah, I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! And they all turned and was like, ew, you played Yu-Gi-Oh?
Other people had the same level of like disdain.
The disdain, and from what I understand, like having seen like games of Yu-Gi-Oh being played, it's because it's just like so annoying to play, because the combos are like so, like you can win on if you draw the right hand, you can win on that first turn. So it's like just super annoying. Whereas I feel like Magic, and specifically Commander, it's it's built in that interaction between the multiplayer format is so integral to the experience.
It is interesting because
Like the politicking is a part of the game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Which-
it's one of the best parts of the format because Magic has been traditionally this 2-player game.
Yeah.
But it was balanced in a way where you're not just gonna pop off turn one. There's like a slow burn to it, and yet like when you translate that, when you add 2 more people to the match, it's actually impressive that it works as well as it does.
Yeah, I was like, it's really hard to like watch, and I feel like get into, which spoilers, that's what we're gonna do this month. We're gonna play some Magic, but like sitting on the outside at the shop, like trying to look in on a game, or even like trying to explain it, is the learning curve is so steep, but I feel like, I don't know. Like it's really not that hard of a game. Like it took me a little while to like grasp the terms.
Yeah.
But now I get it.
Well, it boils down to the like Commander format is 30 years of Magic cards, and when I like 2 years ago when I was introduced to this, I was sitting at the table. It was like, you guys know all of the cards that these people are playing against each other, and actually most people don't. Like a lot of there's the beauty of this format was at one time that there are so many different types of cards, and you can just play with a bunch of like jank, and you can find a home for it in a certain deck.
Yeah.
But there are predominant cards that dominate the format, and that's what I was noticing.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, that card there are cards that ramp and get you extra lands.
Yeah.
And those cards are played in every single green deck because
The ramping growths,
the cultivate.
3
3 visits. all these cards that just get you a couple extra lands.
I loved how much content there was around it because it made it really easy to jump in.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt like even like certain board games,
Yeah.
like finding a YouTube video to explain a rule was hard.
Yeah.
But finding 50 videos about this commander deck that I just bought, like this pre-con deck, teaching you the strategy and the thought process behind building it and optimizing it,
Yeah.
felt so user friendly.
Yeah, and like
podcasts,
supportive.
videos,
Yeah.
blogs, like
Because it's like not only is there you pick your hero that you're going to or your legend that you're going to build the deck around, but you could type that legend into YouTube and there's like there's going to be a short about it. There's going to be
hella shorts.
One or there could be a lot of different strategies that this one dude can employ, and not one strategy is the best one. It just kind of boils down to what people are like,
How
you enjoy wanting to play the deck. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so cool about this game. It feels very deep and it feels like it scratches a piece of my brain of like trying to put together a puzzle, but also play chess, but also.
Do you think it stems from your familiarity and that itch is from you playing Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid?
I think so because I don't know actually because I was never good at the actual card game.
Yeah.
I like I used to go to tournaments with my cousins and I was getting knocked game one and I was just there for the vibes. And I think that's what it is. That as much as like politicking is built into the game, there is like such a community built around it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is ultimately like what I came to Magic for.
Yeah.
Was to make some friends.
Yeah, you've been invited plenty of times with our play group, and it's one of the better things that has like that I found with it too. Like people will come together and like at least like try to regularly meet up.
Yeah.
In a well-balanced group of friends.
Yeah.
Because if you're just going to the regular local game store, there is a discrepancy on like power levels of decks that like one dude's deck may not stack up against a pre-constructed deck.
Yeah.
Whereas in our like balanced like play group, I feel like we have a very like balanced meta.
Yeah.
And
it's
encouraging.
It was cool.
Yeah.
To see, and I really liked. I mean, even pulling up to the game shop and people having multiple decks.
Yeah.
I think that's also. I don't know. I like the skill and the strategy of that.
Yeah.
Like trying to. I don't know. Like you said.
Yeah. How does your deck play? Your deck may not play well against like you have an enchantment deck, and it might not fare well against something that can shut down enchantments.
Yeah. Or like this deck plays very well this way, but with 3 other people who are playing. Like the wild card aspect of 3 people with 3 other decks is like. Yeah. I think that's always so interesting.
I have a few decks that are just 100% shut down by anything with flying. Yeah. Like my zombies deck does not have a single flyer in it, but I plan to win by just draining the table, making everybody like lose life a little bit at a time before any flyers could kill me.
But one flyer,
but that's the flaw. Like I mean, hey, I got
the deck can't do everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So what we're gonna do this month is, well, actually, I don't want to look too far because actually, like, part of all of the content out there that I think is so cool is there's so many different levels to the, like, all of the content out there. Like, there's the fully produced, like, that kind of stuff that makes it easy to watch, and then
They have commander shows where they film takeaways and they film like after the play kind of reality show style.
Yeah, like a game night.
Yeah.
But I just love that there's all of the like all of the short content, and it's cool. So I don't know how editing any of that's gonna go because I've never done anything like that.
Right.
But what we're gonna do is we got 2 mystery packs from a local shop, and we're gonna go through these and see if there's something interesting and base a deck around them. And that's what we'll do for next time.
I mean, that sounds fun. Just to there's something inside one of these packs that we're gonna base our entire strategy around. Beat face with it.
All right. So you want to roll for which one, or do you want to decide?
I'm gonna roll for it. I'm a big fan of rolling dice.
All right.
All right, here we go. Evens.
Evens, odd.
Odds.
Even, odd. We got a 19. There you go.
Okay.
All right, Ted. I'm about to finish my liquid death. How much do you have more? I don't want to rush you.
I got about half left.
Okay. Well, we're gonna. Let's see. I think we're at like 20 something minutes. All right. Yeah, I think that's solid. Because then we'll get into this.
Yeah.
Do you have any last thoughts?
No. Thanks for having me over.
Of course.
It's a baller ass time here. Yeah.
Thanks for coming through for kitchen table magic, and for fanning the flames of this cardboard crack addiction.
Right.
I mean, and now I'm into proxying, so it's in a good spot. I'm not buying singles. These packs were $1.50 for each, so we're keeping it smart.
That's right.
We're keeping it cheap.
If you get into Magic, what you do is you get yourself a printer and some printer ink. That's all you need.
Yeah, save a couple $100 and not buy fucking packs. All right, until next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.